Do you need me to drop a beat?
No. Welcome back to the Animated Arcade, formerly the Excuse Me Princess Super Show. If you are just tuning in for the first time after watching episode 1 and seeing what all the fuss is about.
Yeah, that's a good way. That's, was it that old bit, watch the first episode of a show and the last episode of a show to see how different everything is? Except this isn't the last episode.
But you know, it's the last episode released at the time of us releasing this episode.
Makes sense to me.
I'm Aaron.
I'm John.
And the Animated Arcade will be reviewing and riffing on animated media based off of video games.
If you like.
Yeah.
It's a video game cartoon podcast. We talk about video game cartoons. And today's episode 39 of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. The animated segment Bad Rap and its live-action bookends, Caught in a Draft.
How would we watch this if we wanted to?
If you wanted to watch the episodes we're watching today, you can watch them for free, legally, on YouTube, on the Wild Brain Superheroes YouTube channel.
Amazon Prime.
I didn't mute my phone. But usually it doesn't matter. You can buy the DVDs if you like, but the modern pressings don't have the live-action segments. Or you can download the N-Circle TV app on Roku and Amazon Fire-equipped devices. And the episodes we're looking at today originally aired October 26th, 1989. We're on a Thursday, which means next episode is a Zelda.
Next episode is a Zelda?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
Episode 40. But we're still talking about episode 39 right now, so you want to get into the live-action segment? Get hooked on the brothers?
You know, yeah, I think our button's broken, though, so let's... It's not broken.
In commemoration of the cartoon episode, we'll be doing cold take, unrehearsed raps for our intros instead of using the actual snippets of the song.
And unlike John, who has everything memorized, I need to read it off a prompt because I'm a karaoke star.
Yeah. Fortunately, you can hold your prompt behind your microphone so you don't have to turn away from your microphone to read your prompt.
But then I can't read it because it's too small.
Time for new glasses. Okay.
Lisa needs braces?
That old plan. Do you need me to drop a beat?
No.
All right.
Oh, we're the Mario Brothers and plumbing's our game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. When your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others. You'll be hooked on the brothers. Hooked on the brothers.
Do.
Yeah.
Yo.
All right. At the start, it looked like the Mario Brothers were working on a pipe, because they were. And I thought, oh, good. I'm going to be right. They're going to be caught in a draft.
Yeah. As in wind.
Yes. It's like, perfect. This is exactly what I need. But, no. John, being the wise man that he is, was correct, because Sergeant Slaughter comes back.
Yeah. At least they don't do that weird thing where when a celebrity comes back, they act like it's the first time they've seen them.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't be surprised if, well, now we're so far down the pipeline, but this feels like more like a first appearance of Sergeant Slaughter.
Yes.
The other one felt more like, oh, he's back, and now he's got this wacky crap to do.
Yeah.
But in this case, he's apparently recruiting the Mario Brothers for a top-secret government mission.
And Luigi is skeptical, as always, and goes, how do we know that you're working for a top-secret government mission? Oh, let me read the papers right here. And he takes out paper from his suit jacket, military garb.
His pocket.
Thanks, John. And starts reading it. But instead of reading out loud, you get a lot of...
I knew he was going to keep doing that until I broke. But it's true. Except for moments where he points at Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
Luigi leans in. I can't hear it. That's because it's secret.
Okay, we believe you, Sergeant Slaughter, sir.
Yeah, so he starts... Oh, and he told him to drop and give him 10 the minute he came in.
Yeah. Which is more like air humping for Mario.
Yeah, he's doing those on-your-knees push-ups. But, to be fair, depending how many takes they do, it'd be pretty hard to keep up real push-ups.
Yes.
And is that where it cuts off to the cartoon?
No, there was one other joke where Sergeant Slaughter's saying something like, I just need to prove that you guys can keep a low profile. And Mario goes, oh yeah, we can for sure keep a low profile for your top secret mission, sir. You just failed. Now half the neighborhood knows.
Oh yeah, that's all right.
Cuts to cartoon, cuts back, and Sergeant Slaughter is giving them a whole bunch of orders.
Yeah, they're...
Attention, about face.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah. And they're doing okay.
Yeah, well, they're running, slaloming around trash cans and stuff around the set. And then he has them come in to do rifle drills with plungers.
Yes.
I'm sorry, plumbers helpers. And
Plumber helpers drills with rifles?
And that goes about as well as you'd expect.
Yeah.
They can never get it on the right shoulder. Or I should say, the correct shoulder.
Yeah. And when asking to about face, one of them is always facing the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Until he says, no, just face me.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing Wells and Albano are really good at.
Yeah. This was solid for that type of humor.
Yeah.
And at one point, he's like, all right, guys, parade rest. And Mario says, that's a great idea. You go to the parade, we'll rest.
At which point, the pizza phone rings.
Yes. No, it does Legend of Zelda.
Oh, nuts. You're right. Yeah, they do the... Something.
Watch these clips from Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, no, I think it was like, till we get back, or we'll be right back. After these Zelda clips, we'll be right back.
Oh, yes. Don't leave and get some snacks. After these clips from Legend of Zelda, we'll be right back.
Yeah, that's right.
Which, good. Like, probably some of the best rap that we've had in this episode.
Yeah, that's very true. Also, I think they did a very similar transition to that the first time with Sergeant Slaughter about watching the Zelda clips.
I think so, too.
I don't know. It's been a long time since we watched episode 3?
I think that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With the little Mario that comes out of the steam thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we come back and the Mario brothers are basically asleep on the couch.
And the pizza phone rings.
Yes. And it's the President of these United States. Or so we're told.
Yeah.
And it turns out the mission has been either changed or always was for him to recruit.
Sorry.
No, that's fine, but one of us has to say it.
Yeah. So, instead of the Mario brothers, it's the Radigator that Sergeant Slaughter's recruiting.
Yeah. Now, again, it's ambiguous. Was he actually supposed to get the Radigator the whole time? That doesn't seem like the sort of mistake he'd make. So the mission profile must have changed.
Or was he pranking the Mario brothers beforehand to wear them out?
Because when he answers the phone, he says, "Yes, sir, Mr. President. The Super Mario Brothers are as ready as they'll ever be."
Oh, you're right.
And then, "Oh, you want the Radigator?" "Well, certainly, sir." So
we get another appearance of the Radigator. Yeah,
that was pretty sweet. I think we're well and truly at the point where we've seen the last of Edison.
Yeah, I think so.
But we'll
R.I.P.
see. We've still got like 25 episodes of this left.
Yes.
Not counting a repeat later on of Tutti Frutti Mario, so technically 24. And yeah, we've got Sergeant Slaughter leans in, the Radigator comes out, not from the sewer pipe, but from the under the stage vent one that he sometimes comes out of.
Yes.
Like when he was singing along in Tutti Frutti Mario.
Yeah.
Which I think is the last time we saw the Radigator.
I think so too. We're not watching Tutti Frutti or Mario again.
Well, we are. We might. Originally, I was going to use that as a placeholder for the Club Mario thing, but it's too far away. I can't remember when Tutti Frutti or Mario comes back, but I think it's somewhere near the end. Or it's one of the Zelda episodes later down the line, I know that. Anyway, he tells the Ratigator to report to Fort Dix tomorrow, and leaves.
So that was the end of...
Well, no, don't the brothers wake up and have one last joke?
I can't remember what the joke is, but you are right.
It's, I think, Luigi wakes up and says, Mario, can you keep a secret? And Mario's like, yeah, I could definitely keep a secret. And he starts making hand gestures that I think were supposed to eventually turn into, like, the zip lip or something. He's gone. And then they go back to sleep. And then they do the Mario, and Sergeant Slaughter just stands there. But he does say, do the Mario. He just doesn't do the Mario.
Or mouths it.
Yeah, he might have just mouthed it, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was caught in a draft. And actually, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I would... Lower top third.
Yeah. It's, again, all steamed up seems like a sequel to this, even though it was in episode 3.
Yes.
Again, it treats Sergeant Slaughter more as a wacky returning guest star. Which, might have been. It's hard to just... Nobody knows what order those were filmed in, the way they were cut up and reorganized.
And because Sergeant Slaughter was in episode 3, we don't have to review him, right?
Well, that being said, we did such a terrible job of everything in our first 3 episodes that... Like with the Beast Wars guy and like with other stuff, I think it's time for a little better revisit in our current style.
All right. Sergeant Slaughter was in episode 3 of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Wait, he was?
Yes.
Was he the little Mario?
Yes, he was.
Yes, I knew it.
But his actual name is Robert Rudolph Ramirez. And he's still active in acting.
Yeah.
He's a voice actor, famous wrestler. He was prominent from the 70s to the 80s. Has had several recognitions to his name. And the big thing is, he's been in G.I. Joe as both a toy and a character.
Good morning, sleepyheads. I'm Sergeant Slaughter. I'm glad to see you got your lazy carcasses out of bed. Now you slobs have had it too soft. You guys are supposed to keep our country safe from Cobra. So starting today, we're gonna fix all that. Give your hearts to America, Joes, because your butts belong to me. Now commence running. Move it! Hey, 2, 3, 4!
Good work, Sergeant. This is just what the Joes need to get motivated.
Happy to hear that, because with all due respect, General Hawk, you're a Joe, and you're gonna join them.
Yes, sir.
Pick them up and put them down! Yeah, hop, 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 hop!
Well, you gotta be a character before you get a toy.
I doubt it.
Well, actually, that's not true. Remember, the Street Fighter characters, their first American action figures were G.I. Joes. And they weren't G.I. Joe characters, so you know what? Objection withdrawn. Insert clip from that G.I. Joe Street Fighter 2 commercial here.
It's the most lethal G.I. Joe team yet. Capcom Street Fighter 2!
No way!
Wait! There's Guile, Ryu, Zangief, Blanca, and Dalsim!
What's a Dawson? Oh!
Some with real ninja moves! Hey!
But Cobra's got Street Fighters too!
Vega, Sagat, Balrog!
And me, El Bison!
They look unbeatable! You know them, you love them!
So correcto!
Capcom Street Fighter 2 figures each sold separately.
Oh, I like them!
It's Capcom Street Fighter 2! What's tougher than a Capcom Street Fighter?
A Street Fighter's mother?
No! How about the Crimson Cruiser with Championship Edition M. Bison and Street Slamming missiles? It's not as tough as Championship Edition Guile going boom in his Sonic Boom tank. Or the Beast Blaster. It comes with Championship Edition Blanca and Chun-Li and fires double trouble missiles.
Street Fighter 2!
Capcom Street Fighter 2, Sonic Boom Tank, Crimson Cruiser, and Beast Blaster come with Championship Edition figures, each sold separately.
That's a lot of stuff!
That was a good commercial.
Mm-hmm.
So, a few of his notable things as well is he's done a few promotional stunts, including in the late 1980s. Sergeant Slaughter and his battling battalion pitted against Bigfoot Monster Truck in a tug-of-war challenge.
Oh, that would be cool to see.
It is featured on the Blood, Sweat, and Gears USHRA home video, or USHRA.
Mm.
It was also recently reattempted with Sergeant Slaughter using fans from the crowd at a monster truck show to tug of war with Bigfoot.
Where was that?
It actually doesn't say.
Oh, okay.
He was featured in a 1989 video game, Sergeant Slaughter's Mat Wars, by Mindscape.
Oh. Plus, I'm pretty sure he was in some of those, late NES, early Super Nintendo WWF games.
I think so.
Like, there's some of those, they're not from the 90s new generation, they're from, like, the rock and wrestling era. They've got all the real cartoon guys, like the Mountie and the Honky Tonk Man and Sergeant Slaughter. And, of course, the Undertaker, the only one to transcend beyond.
Yes. Have you ever watched Code Monkeys?
I watched it like twice. I thought it was okay, not great.
Do you know that he was in it?
Uh-uh.
He was Sergeant Murder.
Oh, that's good. I like when actors will do bits like that.
With Bulk Brogan, Manly Man Ricky Ravage, and Sergey the Giant.
Nice. Those are very good wrestler parody names.
He was also Dr. Military in Teen Titans Go.
Cool. That's just the sort of pull that they would make for that. The kids aren't going to get it.
And in 2021, Sergeant Slaughter got another toy. In the popular Masters of the Universe brand, Masters of the WW Eternia.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some of those on the pegs at Walmart. Was it given a funny name, or is he just Sergeant Slaughter?
Just Sergeant Slaughter.
Cool.
I just love the the Masters of WW Eternia.
Yeah, that's well done.
That is chef kiss.
It is. No, I think I saw the Macho Man figure from that line. And yeah, no, they're you remember the way He-Man toys used to be sculpted, the roided out like
yes
shape, yeah. So it's one of those. That would be cool. I want to look up a picture of this.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Good job. You can listen to me type, everybody, because I didn't turn off my phone. Sound. Sergeant Slaughter. He-Man.
Right here.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, he's kind of got that man-at-arms chest plate thing going on. Well, that's delightful.
And he's had quite a few different stage names.
Oh, yeah.
So, started as Bob Remus, Bob Slaughter, the Executioner, Sergeant Slaughter, Super Destroyer Mark II, and Matt Burns. And although his character was a Vietnam War vet, Robert Remus never participated in the Vietnam War and was staunchly against it.
Yeah. And that's fair enough.
Yeah.
A lot of people were. Did he ever serve at all, or is it just a character?
Just a character.
Well, that's, in our modern understanding of kayfabe and not blurring the lines, that's fine. But I can understand, that's one of those things you tell an 80s kid, yeah, it's Sergeant Slaughter, he was never even in the army. You're going to get into a tussle. But no, I don't necessarily expect him to have actually been in the army, to play an army man.
I will also mention that he has released a full-length LP called Sergeant Slaughter and Camouflage Rocks America.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he did really well in this.
I do too. Like,
Yeah.
this is definitely one of those... I'd like to redact and put it into middle, top third.
Sounds good to me.
Are we?
Because wrestlers make good character actors.
Yes.
The ones that, get elevated. Your Sergeant Slaughters, your Hulk Hogan's, The Rocks,
The Andre the Giants and the Princess Bride.
Yeah, very much so. The ones who are good at not only, maintaining a stage presence, but projecting it out to a big crowd from a distance. You bring them in to push Mario and Luigi around, and we say, yes, sir.
You're John Cena's.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him?
I'm stroking my chin. That's very... Yeah. And his name is... Evil Koopa and his Troopas are... Oh, shit. Damn. How does that... So much for me having it memorized.
Yeah.
So, do you want to get into the cartoon?
Only if you can rap it.
I will. Now, Evil Koopa and his troopers are up to misbehaving. They kidnapped the Princess Mushroom Land needs saving. Abusing and confusing everybody he discovers. They can't help but be hooked on the brothers. Do 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 do. There, was that adequate?
I will allow it.
Thank you. All right, so bad rap.
Yep, that explains the episode.
Yeah.
Good, we're done.
Excellent. Oh, I forgot to actually look up if the Flab Boys were a direct look-alike parody of the Fat Boys. Would you do that for me, please, while I start the preamble?
Yes.
So the Mario crew find themselves in Rapland, which they probably had to breach a quarantine to get in. And it's been taken over by Rappin' Koopa, who's somehow controlling the populace with bad raps over the loudspeakers. Okay, a little bit, not much, but a bit. And it's awful. They're basically just speaking in rhyme. They're not actually rapping. I know there is
a little bit of tapping.
Yeah, a little bit. Believe me, there is a difference. But you've got him busting out. Even the plumber's log was a rhymey rap thing. And I know that my ears were starting to sting. The Mario crew decide they've got to help. And they get joined by a pair of rapping big, tall guys called the Flab Boys.
Yes. Who are semi-inspired by the Fat Boys.
Yeah. In that they're big and fat.
Yeah.
Also, this is a City of People episode, so it's already sliding down the hill on its own. And then everyone starts rapping. So basically, this mind control rap that Koopa is crapping out is what everyone's marching towards the castle with sacks of money.
Yeah. The
gold coins. And they just drop it in a pile and march on out. And these people look like they're from a bad rap music video. Lots of belly shirts and high tops and sunglasses.
Yes.
And so plan A is to throw Toad in a bag of money and have the princess disguise herself as a bewitched citizen.
We're missing who's been already kidnapped.
Oh, yeah. Well, did we see him already before
yes.
this point? Okay.
Because they explain that Koopa kidnapped the King of Raptown, or whatever it's called.
Yeah. King James.
Yes.
And it's James Brown. It's a little cartoon James Brown.
Yeah.
With not a crown, but with a cape and a little thing holding it together that says R for rap. And
I thought it was for Rancid, because that's what this episode was.
Yeah. And now the soundtrack for this episode is interesting. It's a lot of the usual Mario remixes, but with lots of record scratches and thrown in, and samples of James Brown going, ow, from I Feel Good, or no, I Got You, in parentheses, I Feel Good.
Yeah.
which is the cover song for the episode. We'll get to that later.
One of them.
Yeah, that's true. It's another rare dual cover, besides the Susanna Ross one. So, yes, then they enact Plan A, try and sneak Toad in, and you don't know how Koopa figures it out, but the bag of money makes the Toad squeak when it lands on the pile, and the Koopa Troopa is...
There's something fishy going on here.
Yeah, and I can't remember what the rhyme was, and don't ask me to. But before they can try and talk their way out of it, there's over the loudspeaker, Koopa mentions that the lady's a fake. And so she runs.
Yeah, and gets caught.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, very immediately. And just standing there being tied up so that she can rap about... They'll throw Koopa through a loopa. That happens again at some point.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Flab boys are trying to help, but their bounding down the lane is causing the Mario Brothers to be all shook up.
Yeah.
It doesn't later, but it does at this point.
They acclimatize.
And speaking of climatization, the Flab boys are immune to the mind control rap broadcast because they're wearing headphones.
Like the ones we're wearing.
Yeah. But ours aren't hooked
Replicas.
up to Walkmans on our belts. Which is a detriment, I must say. We could be totally Vector the Crocodile. But the princess is tied up onto a giant record player turntable with King James. And Koopa pulls the lever for the needle to start coming down. And eventually they're going to get scratched to shit. And eventually sliced up.
Yeah.
And as the needle was lowering on the giant record player, I was just about to say, okay, where's the little twing to show how sharp it is? And then it happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, good. Now I know it's a sharp object.
Yes. Otherwise, I'd just expect it to be a little ballpoint pen.
Yeah, well, it looked like a jagged piece of kryptonite.
Yeah.
It looked like green crystal. So anyway, Koopa had more rotten stuff to do, so he had to bid them adieu. But Toad manages to sneak around Koopa while he's expositing. And when Koopa leaves, hits the lever to lift the actual arm back up. And that's when you really start hearing King James talk. Yeah. It's a pretty decent James Brown impression, which makes sense when I talk about who voiced him. It was James Brown.
Was it?
No. That would be something.
Oh, I would have been impressed.
So they get away, and they decide they've got to take the fight to Koopa, who at the same time decides he's got to take the fight to them.
Yeah. So they set up... It's a montage.
Yeah.
But...
And that's what's set to the I Feel Good.
Which we will drop in right here-ish.
Yeah, well, we'll do the setup first. Mario is on the mic. Luigi's on the spinners. And the princess and King James have big music player decks that shoot either black CDs or little 45 records out their front.
And explode when they either hit each other or a target. So that's the anti-air. We missed this before, but when the Mario Brothers and them were being chased away from the castle, it's albatrosses dropping the bombs. Oh, yeah.
And there was also that bit where Mario jumps and, again, you hate to say it's very anime, but it was.
Oh,
it was Mario spinning his plunger like a bow staff and then doing a flying leap while anime motion speed lines are behind him with no other background.
You know, there was a lot of good animation in this episode.
It's true. I think actually it might, I'm not going to look it up. We're not that show. And I've got to turn down the volume on my phone. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's 2 strikes. But it might have been the ones who did Koopzilla.
I would love to know that, but we won't tell anyone else if we find out.
I mean, I could look it up, but I think we'd have to freeze frame the credits.
Yeah.
But here comes King Koopa with his army of Koopa Troopas, his own little portable mixing deck for him to rap, and the albatrosses. Oh, and Toad's hiding in a hole.
Yes.
And yes, during the setup of their trap, instead of a rap, we get James Brown cover.
Yeah.
Of I Got You, in parentheses, I Feel Good. Special thanks as always to the Super Mario Bros. Super HQ channel for the cover song. Link in the description below.
I feel good. I knew that I would now. I feel good. I knew that I would now. So good, 'cause I got you. Wow, I feel now.
So things start off pretty well. They manage to take down some of the albatrosses, the Princess and King James, with their exploding LP launcher.
Yes.
And Mario, he's directing the combat with his raps, as Koopa is.
That's it, Mario. Now you're had. It's me and you, and I'm rapping mad. Koopa, you're crazy.
That's it, Mario. Show 'em who's boss.
Princess, King, stop those albatross.
And how did they get around the Koopa Troopas themselves? Because there were ground forces too. Do you remember it all?
What was that? The Fat Boys, the Flab Boys.
Yeah, the Flab Boys rolled down the hill, and it's like the opposite shot of in the cartoon intro, where Luigi rolls up the hill and kicks all those Koopas.
Yeah.
It's they steamroll all the other Koopas, and they turn themselves into perfect spheres and roll down the hill. Yeah, it was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Good use of a character that you set up.
Yes.
That's the cat. Rummaging through its cutlery drawer, apparently. Anyway, yeah, then Mario and King Koopa are going to have an epic wrap-off while Koopa runs towards them. But Mario reminds the audience that there's Toad in a hole, and Toad stands up just as Koopa's running over him and gets knocked over. And that's it.
Yeah.
They've won.
Koopa uses another magic potion.
Yeah, Warp Zone door once again. They all stand there and let him do it.
Stupid flamboys think you're so funny. Well, I'm not leaving here without all that money.
Holy cannoli, we're in a real fuss. He's gonna make meatballs out of us.
Don't worry, Luigi. He talks a big load. You forgot our secret weapon, Mighty Mushroom Toad. Well, Koopa, this time you're through. One false move and we'll sit on you. I guess you're right, so all I can say... Now that I've cooped, I'll run away.
It's pink.
Yeah, this one was more on model. The door never quite looks right, but whatever. It's a different door every time, and I think that sort of works.
Yes.
At least it wasn't that cheese tunnel. Remember the cheese tunnel?
The puckering cheese tunnel?
That's the one. That
No.
didn't make the cut to be an episode title.
I've never heard of a cheese tunnel before.
Oh, good. What about a giant cheese ball of spikes?
I know the password's cheese ball.
Some people are so stupid.
Yeah.
I can't do that, Mouser. Stop it. I know now.
Some people are so stupid. That was the worst one yet.
It was.
Because I wasn't even trying.
So, now that you've been exposed to bad rap, how do you process it? You just sort of bury it deep in your psyche and move on?
This one was hard to watch.
It was.
And it was harder to listen to.
Yeah, and not just because your dog was having a shit fit playing with his teddy bear.
Yeah.
But partly that. But we weren't trying very hard to engage with the episode around the dog either.
No.
Yeah, the rapping was bad. There wasn't rap. Everyone was just speaking in rhyme.
Yeah.
It would have been better as a straight speaking in rhyme episode instead of trying to 90s it or late 80s it. But
A slam poetry episode?
do you remember that live action Alice in Wonderland show from the Disney Channel?
No.
Oh, well, I do. And Tweedledee and Tweedledum were a pair of rapping brothers. And the White Rabbit went around on rollerblades so he wouldn't be late. It's that, that sort of late 80s, early 90s-ness.
Yes.
But I remember really liking that show when I was a kid, but I'd like to say I was less discerning back then, but I don't think I'm much better now.
No.
But so, yeah, it's not a terrible episode. It's just kind of weak. Animation was okay. I mean, I'm sure there were some of the usual errors. I could look at the list now and see if there's any hilarious ones. I remember when Koopa was looking down the telescope and it panned over, you could see the edge of the screen briefly.
Yes.
They slid the entire black cell with a hole in it over. But that's probably hidden on, if you were watching on a CRT, it'd be cut off by the overscan, like the junk lines at the left side of Mario 3. Let's see, it's just the usual colors change for a second, or when Mario transforms into Super Mario, he disappears briefly. When Rappin' Koopa takes out his potion, it's the same color as the rim of his shell, the pale green instead of the dark green, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not people talking with each other's mouths so much. And yeah, it's anything else to say about the episode before we get into the cast? Because we're going a bit light on the review side of it, besides the fact that, frankly, it kind of sucks.
I'm sorry, guys. It's bad, but not bad enough for us to farm content off of it.
Yeah, this isn't
Two Plumbers and a Baby bad.
Yeah.
This was frustrating. It didn't rage us up, though.
No, and the question is, were we 6 years old in 1989 instead of 1 at most? Would we have engaged with the rapping content any more than we did now? Or would we have just let it passively wash over us?
There's another thing that... Did we mention the second cover?
Oh, no. Right at the very, 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 very end, they're having a celebration. Mario gets a crown. He's a hero of Rapland. And before the cover, they said the Flab Boys have written a rap about Mario. And it's the Plumbers rap. Yeah. They're the Mario Brothers, plumbing's the game, found a secret warp zone, working down the drain. It's the cartoon part intro. And, it's just the song played straight. So, okay, in universe, that song was written by the Flab Boys.
Yes.
And then right at the end, after everyone cheers, there's a moment, in the online versions, there's a moment of, silence. But it's because they play a very brief sound clip of James Brown saying, "You gotta make it funky."
Yes.
And yeah, that's technically the other cover song.
Which
Special thanks to the Super Mario Bros. Super HQ channel on YouTube, link in the description below.
It's got to be funky.
That was anticlimactic.
Little bit. Yeah, well, and Aaron, when we were listening to we were watching the cover song, as we always do, after we watched the main bulk of the episode. And then Aaron turned it off. I'm like, wait, there was another one. And then we turn it back on, go through all the rigmarole, and it's just, make it funky. And then it fades back out. It's like, oh, that was well worth our time.
But
all right.
It was worth the content.
Yeah.
And if you've been enjoying our content...
Oh, yeah, we forgot to do that between because we were setting up the wraps. Yeah, if you're enjoying the show, give us a like, comment on the YouTube version, and subscribe. New episodes every 2 weeks, and best of clips at least once a week.
This week, I want to know, in the comments of YouTube, what your favorite cartoon rap is.
Ooh, there's an interesting lead-in. And if the answer is none, that's okay.
Yeah.
Cartoon raps are always the worst.
You can answer none and we'll know what it means.
Yeah, just answer none.
Yeah.
Also, we do, to the best of our remembering, nobody did a I'm blank and I'm here to say rap.
But I'm Aaron and I'm here to say...
Follow us on Spotify in a major way.
Oh.
If you're liking our show, give us 5 stars. so that we can get rich and buy nice big cars.
Oh.
So the cast, we got Lou Albano as Mario and Flatboy number 1.
Ooh.
The one on the left. The one who wasn't very obviously Harvey Atkin, because it was the voice he uses in Sam and Max.
Yeah.
And like the Ripping Friends and all those Harvey Atkins voices, the Leon's commercial.
So this is one of the rare times where Lou Albano is doing a double.
Yeah, occasionally, sometimes he's man number 1 or mushroom number 1, but
This
yeah,
is a major role.
It is, which is unusual. Danny Wells as Luigi, Jeannie Elias as Princess Toadstool, John Stalker as Toad and the Koopa Troopas, Harvey Atkin as Rappin' King Koopa and Flatboy number 2, and a returning Greg Morton as King James.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah. He could pull off that kind of voice.
He's the one that does the...
Yes, with the ears. That's him. And he was I always want to say the Snorks. He was the Quirks in Stars in Their Eyes.
Yes.
And, yeah, it's that guy. So we'll get into the writers now. This is both a long and short one. It was written by a pair, Cassandra Schaffhausen and Kevin O'Donnell. And, spoiler alert, they'll be back as co-writers of one more Super Show episode a little bit down the line. And Cassandra Schaffhausen, her major writing, there's like 3 or 4 shows, couple episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? But she's one of those producers who would write an episode or 2 of shows that she produced. But these shows are worth talking about from a production standpoint. She's a producer on Captain Planet.
Yes.
Legend of White Fang. Do you remember that?
I do.
That was one of those shows I would watch the intro of and then change the channel. I never actually liked the show much, but I remember it. Young Robin Hood, which we were literally just talking about yesterday, unprompted.
Yes, in the car.
Yeah.
Waiting for Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, they opened a Krispy Kreme in the city, in Edmonton. First one in the area for sure. And anyway, yeah, we talked about Young Robin Hood.
To Sherwood! This time, young Robin Hood will not escape me!
It's nice to be wanted, Sheriff. Always a pleasure doing business with you, my lord. Away, Arrow!
Hey! Special delivery from Robin. Pass it off, Duck.
With my blessing, John.
Right, Alan?
Just playing for time. I'm Marion.
And where there's a way, there's a will. Swallow, that is!
Right on the money. From the rich to the poor. Courtesy of Young Robin Hood.
And, like, a lot of these are like Sinar, Nelvana, Canadian, shows. Like The Busy World of Richard Scarry. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's, you might remember having seen these, they were picture books. They'd always have these giant maps of this town, and they were all little animal people. There was the little worm guy in the hat who flew a little helicopter.
Yes.
The main ones are like cats. It's one of those, if you saw it, you might remember it. It was like a B-tier kids property for a few years. That was the one cartoon I always remember watching. How about this one? Animal Crackers. From those first couple of years of Teletoon.
I do remember watching it, but I remember eating it more.
Yeah. No, but there was the lion who didn't get any respect. There was the big mean elephant who pushed everyone around. He was voiced by that one Canadian voice actor who was in all those shows with that voice. He was like the principal on What's with Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that voice. You've heard that in lots of Canadian cartoons. Maybe I'll do a drop-in with it later when I'm editing, but I'm not going to look it up now. Alright, here's that drop-in. The voice actor we were talking about is Terrence Scammell, who was all over Canadian cartoons in the 90s and early 2000s. And the voice is probably most recognized. He was Eugene the Elephant in Animal Crackers. John Patterson, the dad, in all the For Better or For Worse cartoons, the principal in What's With Andy in seasons 2 and 3 when the show became a Canadian cartoon. It's a long story. And he was Little John, even, in the aforementioned Young Robin Hood. The Adventures of Paddington Bear, the late 90s Paddington Bear cartoon. Paddington Bear is generational, and that was my generation's Paddington. And my generation's introduction to Marmalade, which is good. I like Marmalade. Produced 95 episodes of Arthur on PBS.
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't that still going?
No, they finally ended it, and Arthur turned into Peanut Butter Gamer.
Oh.
That doesn't ring a bell at all?
No.
I'll show you that later. He's like an influencer kid now, but he looks a lot like Peanut Butter Gamer, who has a history of covering Arthur games on the channel. I like Peanut Butter Gamer. He's like... Is he the only one from the old Normal Boots days to still be completely unscathed?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because JonTron's down.
Yeah. And Pro Jared, well, that didn't work out so good.
What about the Completionist? Was he on Normal Boots?
Oh, yeah.
And that's
a saga.
That's unfortunate for Charity.
Yeah. How about Mona the Vampire?
I recognize that.
Yeah, that was, that's going further into the 2000s, I think. I think YTV aired that. Again, it's one I remember seeing the intro of. Most recently, she was producer on a couple episodes of the 2020s Animaniacs revival.
Oh.
So, still chugging along. And this is a truncated list. These are just names that I remember and wanted to talk about, like Young Robin Hood. And then Kevin O'Donnell, pretty similar list. Wrote an episode of the New Kids on the Block show.
Oh.
A couple episodes of New Adventures of He-Man. And a couple episodes of Pro Stars. I never saw Pro Stars, but I've heard of it. That cartoon with Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, yes.
As superheroes?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was a producer on those shows. Again, similar thing. Be a producer, write episodes of the show you're producing. Like Liberty's Kids. You ever hear of Liberty's Kids?
Never.
Okay. In the waning days of the Fox Kids / Foxbox / 4Kids TV block on Fox Kids, the first show that would air was this thing called Liberty's Kids. It was like, it took place in the past during the American Revolution and stuff.
Right before Stargate, Infinity.
Somewhere in there, yeah. In those cartoons that no one actually watched.
Yeah.
They just filled the space.
I remember it because I wanted to watch the new Stargate cartoon and I didn't want to miss it, so I watched the last half of that.
Yeah. And it'd be like these kids who are in the periphery of actual history events going on, like, oh, thanks for coming by, Betsy Ross. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, it's that kind of thing. I remember, yeah, same thing, waiting
George
for the...
Washington, did you actually sleep in Brooklyn?
Yeah, in that dump. His most infamous thing, I would say, as a producer was Super Duper Sumos.
Oh...
Yeah. Everyone go watch the Rebel Taxi video about Super Duper Sumos. It's one of his greatest videos.
This is some of the most expensive-ass butt animations the great nation of Canada can offer.
Turn around! Stick it out! Even white boys got the shout!
Super Duper Sumos is not all that bad, just look at all the diversity. Now everyone can feel ashamed.
So, lore or filler?
Trash.
The trash that should have been taken out. Very good.
And the thing is, there was potential. But it's still trash. I'll get into that on the review.
Well, rating. I was going to say, it's not like the raps could have been better, because I don't think they could have.
No, but it could have been a better story.
That's true.
With the same gimmick.
Well, I mean, it's not exactly a fresh story for the Super Show anyway. Oh, we rolled into a place, King Koopa has already taken over, and he's tricking everyone and giving them their money. That was literally the previous episode, wasn't it?
Yes. Where he was robbing everyone.
Yeah, that's true. He wasn't tricking everyone. He was sticking them up.
Yeah.
That's the direct approach, which I appreciate.
I would rather be told, give me all your money at gunpoint, than have it drained out of my bank account slowly.
While listening to bad rap.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. Okay, ratings.
Ratings.
I think for me, the slightly better than average animation brings it back up from the brink.
Yeah.
Instead of 1.5, it's a 2. 2 Flab Boys.
And I'm going to give it 2 cover songs.
Hey, there you go. Even if one of them is just a snippet.
A snippet?
Uh-oh. Hands in the air.
Like I just don't care?
Exactly.
But I feel good.
I knew that I would.
Oh. And we're already better at rapping than that entire episode.
It's true. But I think the audience already knew that. So if you want to reach out to the show, you can leave a comment on the YouTube version of this episode.
You can send us off a message on Twitter X at Animated Arcade.
You can hit us up on the Gmail at theanimatedarcade at gmail.com.
You can also hit us on Facebook, Blue Sky, and TikTok at The Animated Arcade. Where TikTok, we have best of clips uploaded pretty much weekly. Anything from sound bites from our first couple of episodes, including Bleh!
I get you, Varios.
To latest cover songs and cover song comparisons to what was replaced on it.
Yeah, and I finally got smart enough to put the cover song first.
Yeah. Which
helps with audience retention a little.
Because the cover song's better.
Well, it's sort of the point.
Yeah.
And yeah, I promise to stop. I've been doing a lot of re-releases of the older shorts with the new logo style put on, but I've also been transitioning to a new computer.
Yes.
These I can quickly make on my phone, and it's worth having a backlog of the old stuff with the new logo, as we've mentioned before, for eventually relaunching the Instagram. Yes. And maybe other stuff. But...
like YouTube Shorts. Wait.
Yeah. Predictions. So it's a Zelda episode. But first, the live-action segment is Defective Gadgetry. Now, do we pretend we don't already know?
No, I predict that we're going to have a guest star.
Well, we do every episode. You know, there was Sergeant Slaughter this time.
No, every once in a while, it's just Lou Albano and Danny Wells in drag.
That's true, yeah, they're the guest stars. Although, to be fair, let's see, there was Lyle, but you're right, with the original Mama Mario, that was just them. And it was one of their stronger performances for it.
Yes.
They didn't have to carry some athlete who can't act.
Like Lyle.
Yeah, pretty much like Lyle.
Who just showed up.
Or a kid who can't act, like Brian. Brian. Okay, but no,
I've tried to block out Brian.
Yeah, it's Defective Gadgetry. I know what it's about. Aaron knows what it's about. I don't think it's any harm in spoiling it for the obvious. It's the first one with the live-action Inspector Gadget. So, look forward to that. That's going to be a good time.
Yes.
And the Zelda episode is going to be Underworld Connections. Now, based off what you've seen in the previews, how much can you piece together?
There's a lot of fighting.
Yeah, there is a lot of fighting. It's a very Underworld heavy episode, I can tell you that.
It's going to be action-packed. I want to say Princess Zelda is taking the fight to Ganon to get the Triforce of power. Or it's a recovery for the Triforce of Wisdom.
It's that one. Yeah, you see in the preview clips, she's holding pieces of it. The Triforce got broken up, and they're going to put it back together. But it's done in a very interesting way, the way they track the pieces down. So I think we're going to like this one, too.
Do they use the Dragon Ball radar?
Not in the strictest sense, but it is a thing from the games.
Oh.
Plus, there's a bit of good old-fashioned detective work, too. But we'll find out how good our old-fashioned detective work is next time. Because I'm John.
I'm Aaron. The airways are our ways.
And until next time, everybody,
do the Mario.
That is a good outro. That is the one thing I give Club Mario.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to The Animated Arcade. Our theme song is After School Keyboard Club by Xennial, sourced from freemusicarchive.org. Our logo and thumbnail art is done by Shell, who you can follow on Instagram at YourMidnightCrafter. The cover songs from the Mario-themed episodes are sourced from the Super Mario Bros. Super HQ channel on YouTube. These links, as well as the music used in our Zelda-themed episodes and all of our social media accounts, are found in the description.